welcome back to Elfo Deco. We have a new look here today, but I am still the same Ella, and I know you're here for flower coaster tutorials. So let me show you what we are going to be making today. We have two different flower coaster versions. We'll call this one the basic version, and this one the version with alcohol inks. And they both turned out really pretty. The steps are slightly different, and I'll show you exactly how I made each of these. Let's get started. We are using Total Boat's tabletop resin for both sets of coasters. This first one we'll call basic version because I see this very often on my Instagram and other videos. To create the blue color, we'll add 2 drops of the Mixo blue tint to clear resin. This is to keep the transparency of the resin. You can add more blue if you like or less. For the white petals, we are using Casting Crafts opaque white pigment. I added a good amount to my resin, and for the center, we are mixing up a few glitters. I have the Opal Skies mix from Crystallized Cottage Resin on Instagram, and a high brightness crystal shard and holographic teal shards from Resin. I think that's how you pronounce it. I just thought these mixes would go well together, so that's why I paired them up. All the colors are ready now. Some bubbles rose to the surface as I was mixing up the colors, so just use a heat gun to pop them. Clean up the molds with some blue painter's tape if needed, and then we can pour. These flower coaster molds are from Amazon, and all the supplies will be linked in the description for you to check out afterwards. We just pour the color around the edge of the mold and then fill it up with clear. The blue ends up moving towards the center, so that's why in the intro you saw that the blue coaster was mostly blue, even though here we are just pouring around the edge. That's also how we get the beautiful petals from the white. Now I'm not 100% sure why this happens, that resin tends to move towards the center. If you know, let me know down in the comments, because I don't want to make random guesses and spread false information. Let's continue with the petals. We are taking our white mixture and drawing circles on the clear resin. Then we'll create the petals by dragging the white in 2 directions, as you'll see in the video. I am using the flower mold edges as a guide for this step and wiping off the popsicle stick on my gloves with each drag. Once the flower design is done, we'll drop some glitters in the center and use a heat gun to pop any surface bubbles. This part is just the resin moving towards the center, sped up at 20 times so you can see how the resin is moving. The coasters are now fully cured. I forgot to press the record button for the first coaster, but here's how it turned out to look like. The flower isn't perfect, but it's still so pretty. I'm really loving the blue ombre and clear effect. I will add a top coat to these and show you at the end how they look like all shiny. Let's make the alcohol ink version now. We have our Total Boat tabletop resin mixed up. For the alcohol inks, we are using the petal, candy, and sunflower colors from Pixis Creative. The same Casting Craft white for petals, and for the glitter center, I don't remember the white mix, but it's also from Crystallized Cottage Resin on Instagram, and I paired it with a color shifting glitter from Resin. Let's create the glitter mix first and the white mixture. And this process was a little bit more hectic, but you'll be able to follow along still. Once we have our glitter mix and white ready, we're ready to pour. Please don't mind the clumsiness in this video. I didn't really know how to cut it out and still make the video look smooth, plus it happens to all of us from time to time. Moving on. For these coasters, we first fill the mold with clear resin, and I am filling it almost all the way to the top. Now we're going to drop the alcohol inks, and I was aiming for an ombre pink to yellow effect. As I was pouring, these colors were spreading a lot faster than I expected, and I was almost panicking a little bit, but we'll just have to keep making and finish this to see. For this set of flower coasters, I wanted some more petals, so I added a few more lines, but I dragged out the white the same way I did for the blue coasters and added the glitters at the end. The flower movement wasn't as obvious for this time lapse, but there was still a little bit. Now they're cured and ready to be demolded. You can definitely see that the inks and the white has pulled from the edge of the mold. Wow, the white blended in with the inks and it feels like the petals are now pink and orange. Now here is the second coaster. I definitely could have used more yellow. I was actually worried that I had too much yellow in the first one, but here it didn't even really show. But they're both still definitely pretty. Before I show off the final coasters, I just wanted to show you the very first set of coasters I made with my go-to resin, Turtle's High Performance Slow Resin. It's a thinner resin and it's not ideal for these coasters because, as you can see, the white petals ended up sinking to the bottom of the mold. And now it just kind of looks blobby, versus this blue one, the first one that we made, you can see that it's very smooth and the petals are slowly moving towards the center. Now let's see the two sets of coasters that we made out in the beautiful sunlight. Both sets were top coated off camera. I have a separate detailed tutorial if you want to see how I do my top coats. And look at how shiny these coasters are. They're both so different and I love them both. The blue one looks calmer and the pink one looks more dramatic. Let me know which set you like more in the comments. thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed this tutorial with making the flower coasters, please like and subscribe. It would really help my channel out a lot. And let me know down in the comments below which one of these coasters you like more. I'll see you next time.